Hello, my friends. Jacob is here one more time. Thank you for pressing play. Sorry I haven't been around for a while. It's been a week. I'll get to it at the end of the show because I want to get all of this stuff to you first. So much. It's just, this is why everybody comes to Jacob's Ladder, right? You come for the inspiration, but you come for the goofy stories, the crazy stories, the things that just, I don't know. Bears. We're going to be talking about bears. I've been on a bear kick. I don't know if you know. If you follow me on Twitter, I've just been tweeting bears after bears after bears. I keep seeing bears everywhere. Now, why this is strange to me is about 10 months ago, I did a couple of shows about bears and how important I felt like there was something that was going on, right? 2 bears. I talked about Elisha and in the Old Testament and the 42 youngsters that were taunting the prophet of God. And then the 2 bears came out and mauled these 42, some say youth, some say children, some say young adults. Doesn't really matter. 42 nations in the world, 2 bears. I understood it to be a wicked ruler that was going to come and be put in its place. If you look at the thumbnail, you see there is there's the Trumpster right there with the face of the bear. I had a whole little thing about how many people compare Trump to a bear. There's a lot of bear significance. Buckle up, a wicked ruler is a bear to the Lord. The nations of the world are about to be faced with a huge crisis. A bear is about to maul them. Trump eat a bear, little plush toy. That was like a big thing. It was like a meme going around. Trump eat a bear. I don't know if you remember back in 2020 or so, Donald Trump Jr., it was a big deal in Alaska, I think. Got approved to go shoot a bear. Just, it's interesting. A lot of people say Donald Trump looks like a bear. That was a meme going around. Grizzly. Weirder than that, Newt Gingrich obsessively compared Trump to the bear. He's like a grizzly bear, comparing Donald Trump to the grizzly bear in The Revenant. The Revenant, where the guy gets attacked and mauled by a bear. When you're dealing with Trump. But there was also a fleur-de-lis on Elon, on his jacket. You'll see it. That was back when, right around the same time, there was the Met Gala. There was a big to-do where they go and they do all their things. And they were doing the Gilded Age, returning to the Gilded Age, which is not a great time for poor people. It was a time where the rich were really rich and the poor were really getting taken advantage of. Ironically, as I'm looking into these bears, of course, Elon tweets out the fleur-de-lis. So I'm like, hey, I got to look into this a little bit more. That's strange, right? Because he's got the fleur-de-lis on him. And then, of course, they're talking about the Gilded Age. Someone mentioned about returning to the Gilded Age. Very strange. Stranger still is the fact that I can't get away from bears. They're everywhere. There is a passage in Scripture that talks about a wicked ruler as a roaring lion, a roaming bear, a ranging bear. Bears pretty much are symbolic of a judgment that's coming on man. So I start thinking, this is something that we need to discuss. There's a lot of stuff going on in the news right now. I had a weird dream of a landslide. And of course, I was thinking because of the bear, Elon did this thing where he got together with Newsom. They're doing something in California. Tesla's going to be a big to-do over there. And of course, the whole thing started off with the image of a bear. California's has to do with a bear. Then I had a dream of a terrible landslide, and I don't know. Defeat the Elite sent me a video of a terrible landslide that just happened over there in China at a coal mine. Which, I mean, is horrible because you see all of the excavators and everything else. You just think about how many people lost their lives. Horrible, scary, terrifying. There's a lot of terrifying news right now. There's a lot of really scary and unnerving things going on. So I start seeing bears and I say there's something to it. So I start tweeting out one thing after another thing after another thing. The big thing, of course, is there going to be a bear market? Predictions are saying there is. Ironically, in that video that I shared, it started off with a bear market. So is that the thing? Is it going to be like some kind of a financial collapse, or is it all just coincidental? I don't know, but there's a lot of bears. They're everywhere. Guess what they're saying? Morgan Stanley is warning of a bear market. I even tweeted about this. I said, the bear is at the door. Buckle up. A wicked ruler is a bearer to the Lord. The nations of the world are about to be faced with a huge crisis. A bear is about to maul them. Connections between the Trumpster, who looks like and is poised to return. Poised to return. Just like I said he would. If you're new to the channel, I've been talking about this a long time. Before he lost the election, after he lost the election, and it looks like everything's coming to pass. So let's take a look at Trump and the bear. Now, what was strange about that was right around that time was that terrible, shooting at the school in the children, and the lack of enforcement, and the fact that they let it go on. It was terrible. It was almost like something right out of that story. It was monstrous. And then, of course, the right to bear arms, the Second Amendment to bears, that became a big issue. Which is weird, because I thought, well, maybe this has something to do with that. But really, I felt like it had to do with a ruler coming down and kind of cracking the whip. And since it was about 10 months ago and everything else, we're looking at a time now, we're almost a year out, where this could be the next thing. So why am I freaked out about all this? I'm not that freaked out about it, but I just began noticing one after the other. A little while ago, a grizzly bear named the Boss, who fathered like 70% of all the bear cubs in the area, was hit by a train. I thought was strange because of the derailment that just went down in Ohio. And of course, he's alive, the Boss. If you're into astronomy and everything else, they're talking about Ursa Major and Ursa Minor, the bears. Well, there's a big grizzly bear face on Mars that they just posted about. Believe it or not, there is a rebellious Andean bear that has escaped the zoo twice. This is all in the news. This is a lot of bear news, right? We're just getting started, though. I think in Siberia or something, there's a 3,500-year-old bear that was preserved perfectly. And of course, there's the big picture with the big foot of that bear that was preserved in the permafrost. Bears everywhere you go. Which is why I kept posting one after the other. Posted fights of two bears fighting. And then all of a sudden, which was strange because I felt like maybe it's a coincidence, or maybe Elon's watching, right? By the end of the show, you may think that he really is watching. But I posted all the bear stuff, and then all of a sudden, he posts out a picture of the Coca-Cola bear being all sad. Because, of course, right now, bear news, Cocaine Bear is in the news based on real events from 1985. Everything's the big talks about Cocaine Bear. The Cocaine Bear movie has also, they may be doing a sequel. Yeah, in space of all things. Who knows? Maybe Woody Harrelson will star in that one. He was just on SNL, and of course he was revealing a bunch of, things about the wackadoo and of course with the virus of the crown, which now we know they think, yes, it escaped. It escaped. Go figure, right? We never would have thought that. We never would have thought that. But I did say, what did I say? I said, if they be corrupt, they'll be revealed. And I did say that you were going to start to see all of these things come to light. I said this stuff, right? I said, just hang on, it's going to come and it's going to be revealed. And I said, and these people will be brought to some kind of justice. Now, whether or not that's real or some kind of psyop, I can't tell you that. Can't tell you that because I don't really know. But I do know that God's in charge of everything. And I do know that when Woody Harrelson said what he said, a lot of people had some issues with it. They really did. They were up in arms about the whole thing. You know, his father, by the way, I don't know if you know this, there's some news going around on the Twitterverse saying that he was with the, that lettered organization that starts with a C and ends with an A. His dad was a hitman, though. He was he went to jail for murder 3 times. I think he murdered like a federal judge, too. He was a hitman. That's Woody Harrelson's dad. Could you imagine growing up, poor guy? Is he connected to that lettered organization? I don't know. Is Woody Harrelson some kind of big psychological operator too? Right? Just part of the program. Go out there and do it. I don't know. I can't tell you, but I can tell you that the Toledo Zoo, they're doing a gender reveal for the polar bears that just had their cubs. You know that show on Apple TV, Ted Lasso? It's very funny, very heartwarming about football. If you're in one country, or soccer, if you're in the States, he's got to build a bear. A lot of bear stuff, right? Speaking of the bear, the actor from that awesome show, he's like a chef, and he takes over his brother's, I guess, failing, sandwich shop. It's called The Bear. He just won Best Actor for The Bear. Not just that, Nicholas Philibert, he just won the Golden Bear Award for his film. That's a lot of bears. Speaking of Trumpy the Bear, the guy who went into the old Capitol building wearing a panda bear hat, a bear mask, he was just arrested, charged with sedition. They call him the sedition panda. Yeah, bears. Very strange thing. I don't know. Maybe I'm looking for it. Just a little while ago, I just was tweeting a couple buddies of mine, and I said, I feel like the bears are coming back, and then bears are everywhere, everywhere. And I also talk about the bald eagle, because of course we had the eagles that if you haven't seen my Super Bowl show, you should check it out. Really great, sort of kind of predicted everything that was going to happen. Very interesting. But the eagle is very symbolic, and the eagle ends up, falling. And there happens to be very famous eagles, Jackie and Shadow. Right now at Big Bear, they're waiting to see if these eggs are going to hatch. And ironically, I had put something out where I was kind of like, I want to see news of life. I want to see something good. I don't want to see a bunch of eagles dying. I don't want to see a bunch of eagles falling ill. I don't want to start seeing that. I don't know why. I just don't want to.
Bald eagle friends Jackie and Shadow up in Big Bear. The experts say the 2 eggs that Jackie laid last month are not likely to hatch. It's unclear why. The eggs are nearly 2 weeks past their expected hatch date, and experts say it's possible the eggs were never fertilized, or they could have stopped developing for any number of reasons.
So, watching these birds trying to keep their eggs warm. I mean, it's, you feel for these animals, these magnificent creatures. You remember back then, I talked about that movie, Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, that terrible movie where Winnie the Pooh becomes goes around killing a bunch of people, like serial killers, like horrible things, and they become they eat people and stuff. You take this beautiful, the rights of Winnie the Pooh come up and they turn this into this horrible thing. I said back then, a wicked ruler is like a bear unto the people. In Revelation 13, the bear, the feet of the bear, it's the Antichrist. He looks like the leopard, right? He has all of these features, but it's the feet of the bear. The feet are the bear. It's what is planted in the ground. The way the world is today and how disturbing everything is today. There was that big portrait. I don't know if it was in Sydney or something, of this, this hairy, disgusting man with a bear head on. It was one of those BDSM things. Big mural in the city. There was a picture of a little kid holding a little bear, looking at that thing. Disgusting. Bears, right? You remember the Balenciaga bears, right? That was a big thing. What are the bears about? I want you to think about this. I want you to tell me in the comments section, because I think there's something coming. I think it has to do with a change of leadership. I'm hoping it has nothing to do with some like terrible event happening in California or anything else, because that would be really bad. They're everywhere. Guess what they're saying? Morgan Stanley is warning of a bear market. But I do know we've been talking a lot about aliens, right? We've been talking a lot about there's something like this big reset that's going on. Seems like these things are happening. And then what happened yesterday? When it was like the one, it's sad to say, but it was like the one highlight of my day, because I've been I don't know if you know this, if you follow me on Twitter, maybe you do. My son Noah, my oldest son Noah, is very, very ill. He's in the hospital right now. So I haven't been able to do these videos. We've been in and out of the ER. It's been exhausting. None of us have gotten any sleep. Maybe I got like 3 hours last night. We're going to go to the hospital right there where I'm going to stay with him and edit. They finally, he's admitted. It's just not great. He didn't get the wackadoo. So before you all think about that, he got mono. Right? And it turns out, I guess, that this is like a new thing, like everybody's getting it. Talked to somebody at my gym, their kid has it too. It's very strange. It's very strange. But this hit him like I've never seen anything hit him. Never seen, he's suffering so greatly. And it's like, I couldn't do anything to make him feel better. I've been in the ER with him the last 3 days. And I'm glad now he's at least admitted. Today he's feeling a little bit better. But it's been hard for me to even think about work, much less get on here and, get you all concerned about bears. It's hard when our children, and I have 4. I have a 22-year-old, 21-year-old, 19-year-old, and 11-year-old. If you didn't know this, we're a blended family. I had custody of my children. Noah's mom, she's in California. The Dan-Dan's basically like Noah's mom, because, we got together very early on. And we're just all, we're very concerned. And his liver's, jacked up, and his spleen is enlarged, but he's just in so much pain. He can't swallow, he can't eat. It's not fun. So I'd appreciate any of your prayers. I'd appreciate you being patient with me if I can't get more videos out to you. But this stuff with the bears, the aliens, and the repopulation of things, seems like there's this great shift that's coming. It's interesting, but not as interesting as in my, one of probably my hardest moment when I was really, really down, and I felt, I felt like, oh my God, because they can't give him pain meds. They can't, it's just, I'm beside myself. Elon tweets out a bear. Weird. This one right here, like a space bear, right? Space bear, and you see the UFOs, and you see the huge, the flames, like as if the UFOs are causing all these fires. And you see, like in the corner, you see Native Americans, and they're like using blow darts trying to get the bear. Almost like a bear is coming in, I don't know, to repopulate the earth, to reset the earth, to terraform the earth, to make way for new life forms. I have some people on Twitter telling me these things. I have people on Twitter telling me a lot of interesting, kooky things, because I'm a writer, so I like it. Because I have a book that's coming. You'll see. Once I get a chance to write it, once something falls into place where I can actually write it, which I think something may have fallen into place, hopefully, we'll see. Turns out I'm going to be in a movie, right? I'm going to be in a big documentary about the Mandela effect. This is like a big movie. This movie right here. They just put out the press release yesterday, thanks to Moneybags, the director of the film, Robert. He's did a lot of stuff. I think he did like Alien Autopsy and a lot of things. He's like a big time director, and he's really, this is like his niche world. I guess my videos or something encouraged him or inspired him or something, but he wants me to be a big part of the movie. So I asked him, I said, can I tell everybody? Because this is exciting. This could be the thing that maybe helps me reach more people without me being in the live chat like I am right now, probably saying, please please hit the like, please share, because I need to help. I do need to help. It's just me here, guys and gals and whoever you are. And you, because we're doing this together, God's in charge of this all. The days that are coming, it's going to be interesting. a lot of interesting twists and turns going on. I've noticed a lot of things that I thought were one way are the other way. I'm definitely going to be doing another Mandela Effect video soon because I'm just nothing seems normal anymore, does it? Right? Doesn't it? I'm a little beside myself. I know it. I'm just glad that I actually got in front of the camera here for you, which is really just my phone because I'm not high tech. I love you guys. Do me a favor, please. Hit the like button, comment, share the video around, share the channel around, encourage people to get the, copy of The Calling. If you want like the best, if you've never read a novel and you want to say I've read a book, this is the book for you. I can't tell you how many people have read this book and said I've never read a book before, but it was so easy. It's like a bingeable series. Every chapter title leaves you with a cliffhanger. And I think it's very significant and relevant because it was written for today. Like literally, the date is in this book. And I wrote it many, many moons ago. So if you want, you can get yourself a copy on Amazon or anywhere else. All the links to everything in the description below. If you want to get any merch, thank you for those who are on Patreon. I appreciate y'all. And those that help me out on PayPal. I don't want to forget anybody. I love you all. Even if you just hit that like and that's all you do, you are helping. Thank you for helping. I love you all. I'd appreciate your prayers for me and my family as I'm always thinking and praying for all of you. Love you. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
September 10th. Mars hangs closer to the Earth than it has in 6,000 years. Like the light that led men from the east to a child in a manger, it could well be a sign of good things to come. Thomas James shall be his name. The world will change because of him. In the small town of Bethel, in a time not unlike our own, a child with a great purpose is born. Years later, alienated by his peers and abused, Thomas suffers a devastating loss. When it appears he has nothing left to live for in the world, this is when his true calling begins. While trying to escape the sinister powers that be, a terrifying vision haunts him. Miraculous events seem to follow the peculiar young man as he struggles to come to terms with what he was born to do. The stage is set. The time is at hand. The truth will rise and a revolution will begin. The startling revelation of who Thomas James is, truly, will change the lives of those around him and set off a chain of events long ago foretold. There is more to this novel than one might think. Inside these pages hides a treasure just waiting to be discovered. So if you've ever wondered if there's more to life, or why it is we suffer, then this story will not only captivate you, it may just open your eyes to a truth that could set you free. Find out what is in us all that makes us heed the calling.